A war of words. Mercyhealth CEO and Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara battle over the future of the Rockton Avenue campus. One nonprofit claims it's caught in the crossfire.
A late-night statement from Mayor McNamara reignites a years-long feud between the city of Rockford and Mercyhealth. WIFR's Nathaniel Langley learns what and who's behind the fight over the West Side campus. Nathaniel?
Mercyhealth CEO Javon Bay says the health system reached out to more than 50 organizations to take over the Rockton Avenue campus. Voice of Inspirations tells me it was in talks to accept an empty physician's office on the property.
We have been able to survive by the grace of God.
Vivian Lott says it's been a tough year for Voices of Inspiration.
Well, it's a lot of sleepless nights because you don't know from day to day where you might be.
The Resource Center needs more space. In 2024, the nonprofit thought it found a lifeline, an empty building on Mercyhealth's Rockton Avenue campus, offered for $1.
And we were ready to go.
Voices director Alberta Walker claims before papers were signed, Mercyhealth suggested they consult with Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara.
The mayor said that he's not in the business of giving out RMH buildings.
Then came alleged silence from Mercyhealth.
Everything went cold, and we're waiting still to hear for this building.
1 year later, Mercyhealth CEO Javon Bay confirms a black entrepreneur stepped forward to invest in the campus after the health system offered to donate the property to the city of Rockford and more than 50 healthcare facilities, schools, and local nonprofits. Bay noted none accepted the donation of the facility.
A man who makes more than $11 million is asking that Rockford taxpayers provide him a bailout.
Bay claims McNamara undermines the new investor and shows a racially biased double standard.
The last person I'm going to be lectured by about anything to do with our community is that man.
The mayor cites opening Think Big, a minority business accelerator, under his administration.
If he knew what was taking place in Rockford, he would know what a foolish statement that is.
But Bay says if we are truly committed to revitalization, we must stop closing doors and start supporting those willing to take risks, adding, progress on the West Side will not come through rhetoric or selective obstruction.
Do they have a background and a proven track record to develop properties this large?
You have a building that's just sitting there, and there's groups like ourselves who could take advantage of it.
Mercyhealth offered no comment on last year's alleged deal with Voices.
It's a slap in the face to the community. Let's get some help for the west side, the northwest side of Rockford, and let's stop with the shell gangs.
We have lots of moving parts in this story, including learning just who the possible buyer is. Available data from the state of Illinois shows there hasn't been a real estate transfer just yet.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Bay's full statement can be found on WIFR.com. McNamara adds the city has no interest owning the property, but it's willing to be a partner in its renovation.